go watch that. But anyway, he had Roseanne on.
Roseanne Barr.
Yes, Barr. I don't.
Savage.
That's a bar. And I don't know if she was joking because she's funny as fuck, but she was saying that she's the head of the Black Panthers. Right?
Oh God, I gotta hear this. She said she the head of the Black Panthers.
Look it up. I'm telling you. Ask Google or something. I feel like she was not fucking with us.
Wait,
I swear
there's
to
no
God.
way
And if
that
so,
Roseanne Barr was the leader of the Black Panthers. There's no way. I can't.
Currently.
I'm about to, ever. Like currently? That's even more fucked up.
Look it up if she was joking.
I'm gonna Google Roseanne Barr and Black Panthers.
All right, please.
Right? And let's see. I'm about to lose my whole shit if this shit come out. Well, according to all right, here we go. Ready? All right. CARESNONE Beat Up Podcast.
Here's none.
Episode 14.
Yeah.
It's 14 now. I remember we was at 0. And that wasn't that long ago.
I mean, we had a vision.
We did have a vision, man. I did have a vision.
We have a vision.
I am your host, Chris CARESNONE, and I'm with my co-host, D. Eric Fisher. What's up, baby?
What's up, baby?
Man.
How you doing?
I'm actually in a really good mood,
Why?
but in a really interesting mood, too.
Why is that? How is that? Tell more.
So I got a couple things I want to talk about. I'm happy because let's talk about the happy thing first.
Cheers to the happy things.
You know, I told you I had the drink ready for you when you walked in because I'm cold. Like I'm such a good guy, and I'm a great host.
You've been in the service industry for a minute.
My host game strong. So what I was saying, I'm really happy these last 2 days because I think I found CBD oil.
Okay.
And not think I found it. Think I found it for me to be on it. I think I'm hooked. Now I wanted to ask you, what do you know about CBD oil?
I do not know much. I know a whole bunch about weed, but not a lot about CBD oil. And I actually just want to get into it because I've been seeing it crazy.
Everywhere, everywhere you look. Every gas station, motherfucker.
Right. I mean, even on the way here, I think down the street from you is a CBD oil spot right here.
There's like 5.
Yeah, at least.
There's like 5 in like
least.
Walking distance of a mile.
Yeah. So it's all over the world, so shit.
Like it's like, all right, everybody thought you like, goddamn.
And I was actually just watching All the Smoke. They had one with Al Harrington, who's like running the whole weed movement industry right now in the NBA. And he was talking about some CBD. He was just talking about a lot of the properties and whatnot of it and the benefits and whatnot. So I was just listening to some stuff with him, but other than that, I don't really know too much about it.
So I don't really know shit about it either. But I did do a little bit of reading just because I'm like, all right, what is this all about? I fucks with Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan's always like, hey, you got to check it out. He goes, I just do it. And I'm like, well, what does it do? Like, they just feel better. I'm like, what is? So I YouTubed it the other day, or I Googled it. And I guess the effects are supposed to be like a calming, cool without the drug. So it's CBD oils and marijuana without the THC.
Right.
And the THC is the shit that gets you all, cloudy and, when you get high, that feeling. And I believe, I'm probably fucking this up, but the CBD oil is like the properties that don't do that. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, you know what, man? Fuck it. And I guess number one thing is anxiety. Like, it's like one of the biggest things is pain and anxiety. So I've been taking this shit for 2 days at work, and I love it. Mm-hmm. But it's not like a high though. It's like I'm just cool. Like I don't know. And then like things that
it's like a cigarette type buzz without the.
Well, I don't know. I never really smoked cigarettes like that. I smoked them like 3rd grade for. That's actually crazy. So I smoked for like 1 week. I smoked cool cigarette, and very cliche because I thought they was cool. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. Everybody else smoking. I'm smoking too. Got these motherfucking cools.
These motherfuckers
smoking like a pack of cools
at 3rd grade.
And then I don't know, was it 3rd? it was definitely hella young. And I tried the cigarettes and for like a week.
Cool.
First of all, the motherfucker's expensive.
Low key, back in the day, you could buy a pack of cigarets as a kid though for your
for your mom. I was like, Mama said, give me 2 pack of Newport 100s. I actually done that many times.
Change.
Boy, go on somewhere by. Anyways, so I did this shit, and circle back about this. So I smoked the cigarettes for like a week.
Yeah.
And one, it was expensive.
expensive habit.
Especially when you were 3rd grade, they had no money. They got like $2. And then this shit was horrible. Yeah, like it was a bad feeling.
Hey, cigarettes were a movement in this country, man. They wanted to be here. Restaurants and airports and airplanes and shit. Everywhere. They had smoking sections in the airplane. Come on now.
Oh, hey, that's funny you say that. That's funny you say that. We was in a
We're gonna
layover.
get back to the CBD.
No, it's because it's the same principle.
Yeah.
We went to a trip like maybe Vegas or something. We had to stop in Denver. Mm-hmm. And Denver, this is back when they had like a whole room sectioned off for it was just like a smoker's lounge.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they have them in some airports.
They still got them?
In some airports, yeah.
Oh, because I ain't seen them. This is years ago, so I'm thinking there's no way they still got those?
You mean in the airplane?
In the airport. No, not the plane. I ain't that old, Nick.
Oh, right, okay.
Back in the 20s.
Shit, you'd be surprised. But no, they still got them in some airports, yeah. I go in there and hit my pen and shit all the time. Okay,
so here's what I remember when we... So I walked. So my buddy smokes. Uh-huh. So we were gonna. I'm like, I'll go with you. I always smoke. I don't smoke, but I go with them when they smoke. But there was a cloud. Like you open the door right to the room, and there was a fucking like you can touch the cloud of smoke. So, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like this is ridiculous. Uh-huh. So we walk into the motherfucking airport, smokers lounge, and I'm telling you that it was so thick.
Yeah, it's thick in there.
You know, fucking dying, and even the fools who were smoking, like I don't think they smoked for like most of that trip because it turned them off that bad.
Yeah,
that's just nasty.
That's not pure.
Yeah, just a nasty cigarette lounge. What's? Do you remember what airport that was?
Nah.
Well, anyways,
it might have been even in a layover or something. I have no idea.
You definitely remember seeing it not that long ago?
I was in there smoking.
Oh, you actually smoked it yourself.
I was like, shit, let me hit the pen.
All right. Can't you hit the pen anywhere?
.com.
Is there rules on like the vape pen? You can.
I don't know. I don't think rules are set until something goes wrong or something does anything bad. But I don't think there's much bad you can do with it. So there's really no rule. So.
Yeah, because I feel like no one's ever been like, hey.
Yeah, because it's still new, so there's really no laws on anything.
Yeah, niggas like, hey, we don't know what it's doing to these niggas.
Exactly, but they don't know. They don't have any like tribal laws and really stuff like that on it. Like you can literally bring your.
Well, I know the young whippersnappers are smoking those Juul things.
Right.
Those damn kids. No, but them Juul, like I think
it's just a carry on versus like that type of stuff.
Now, what the fuck is a Juul? Is it like a vape electronic cigarette?
Yeah, just e-cig, e-oil, whatever you want to call it.
And that's what them new shit, nigga. Everybody got them now.
Yeah, it's convenient.
So it's pretty much just like smoking cigarettes. Is it the same thing? Is it worse or better?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about that part. I don't know about the severity of the Juul and whatnot, but
because I know a lot of motherfuckers Juuls, man. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean,
but I don't see as many people smoking cigarettes though.
Well, it's the same. It's supposed to be the replacement for it.
What about in the city? Do you see more people still smoking actual cigarettes?
Yeah, they smoke cigarettes. Cigarettes ain't like, especially Juul, that's for the young motherfuckers.
What, cigarettes?
No, Juul.
Oh, Juuls. Yeah. Old heads. They don't.
Everybody else is a cigarette.
Man, so I got the CBD oil, and I agree that I feel like now it could be placebo. I ain't about to sit here and act like, am I overthinking it? But things that would have typically got me a little like, I was like. Like real talk. Like this dude kind of cut me off this morning. And my first thought was like I wanted to go, drive up to him. And then I was like, wait, that's dumb. And then I was done with it. And I feel like it helped me get there way quicker than I normally would have.
That was supposed to do.
Man, so I'm telling y'all, hey, if y'all trying to get y'all anxiety, and supposedly it's good for pain too. But I never took it for pain like that. Mm-hmm. I guess have you ever smoked weed for pain?
It's kind of tricky with weed because you probably can feel too much. You probably can feel your pain more if you smoke weed. It depends. So I kind of just do another drug.
What?
Advil. I'm just. I ain't going crazy.
Heroin. I just do a little bit more heroin. I'm like, what other drugs, man?
Just over the counter, y'all. Nothing crazy. Just
what was that TV show?
An actual painkiller.
Wait, what kind of painkiller, nigga? Holla at your boy. I got 40 on it. I got 40. No. What was that show? Breaking Bad. Did you ever see that? I guess you don't really fuck with TV like that.
No, I don't really fuck with TV.
But this is actually years ago. This is like
I fuck with TV years ago.
have you ever been into a show?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, like what was the last show you was into?
Shit. That's been a minute.
So what? Do you remember what it was?
I mean, I got I guess TV shows like Netflix shows and whatnot.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Netflix shows.
Yeah.
So what was the last show you was into?
Well, I just watched a series, a Netflix series about it was about a murder trial. You know, it gets disgusting.
No shit.
It's like a kid murder trial. Gabriel.
Oh wait.
Shit.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah, it was just disgusting.
So I started watching it and didn't finish.
I don't fuck with people who fuck with kids, so that just really.
So like as even their art. What about? So can you cut off the art from the person? That's what I'm saying.
We about to get there. I'm about to say it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it.
No, I feel like we might have already talked about that.
Maybe.
Like, can
Probably,
you?
I feel like we have.
I feel like we have.
Because
I can personally.
Mm-hmm.
I can totally cut off saying, okay, this guy's a piece of shit.
Yeah, there's moments.
Damn, he's good at.
Those are, but yeah, and then the art becomes the moments in your life, not the person. You never really know the person. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of fucked up people or who are on a lot of shit that people don't agree with while they were making the art that they were making. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I feel like we talked about this before, though. It's starting to sound more familiar.
Yeah, right. But in case we didn't, because I'm high.
And if you don't
now
you know.
I feel like a lot of art comes a lot of times from bad places.
I got a little pull out.
Oh, we stopped?
Yeah, I got a little. My screen came out.
You sure?
Yeah, I don't hear.
Oh, it's of this part. Yeah, just ding.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, you good, man. I need to get that shit longer.
All right, got you.
You good?
Yeah.
All right. So, the fuck we talking about?
Marcus Garvey.
Who the fuck is Marcus Garvey?
Oh, come on, black brother.
Hey, I ain't woke, nigga. I really don't know the name Marcus Garvey.
Nah, it's cool. We were talking about the. Let's get back to the CBD oil. What you were talking about?
No, so I'm just saying, do that shit. As a nigga who just picked it up 2 days. Now I've been smoking weed, and it does give me. But sometimes weed gets you paranoid. Sometimes weed can make me think too much.
Okay.
Whereas this, I wasn't thinking other than my own analytical self. I was like, oh damn. And I'm just kind of, it was almost like I was on a perk or some shit. But I was just super happy. Like super chill. No, not happy. Chill. Hey, Google, what does CBD oil do to you?
On the website drugs.com, they say many manufacturers of CBD oil products claim CBD is effective at relieving anxiety, depression, pain, inflammation, improving sleep, or has other health benefits.
Hey, shout out to drugs.com, but they need to be drugs.edu.
Yeah, drugs.com. Yeah.
Hey, according to drugs.com.
That's the black web. And hey, you know how to get on that shit?
Drugs.com?
No, the black web, man.
No, I don't know shit about that.
Like for real? Or can you not? Is that like a statute of limitations? Like,
no, I don't know shit about
like,
that.
how do you, like, people, you know how big they say that shit is?
What, statute? Oh, the dark web?
The dark web, how big it is? You ever heard that analogy?
Yeah.
What is it?
Oh, I don't know what the analogy is. But.
Here's what I heard how big it was. It's just crazy. So imagine everything you know personally about the internet. Like how much that is, right? It's a lot. I feel like the internet, you can find anything, ever. Like I can find crazy shit, ever. But that's only like 80%. That's only like 20% of the internet. 20. So like the overwhelming majority of the dark web is that's what most of the internet is. And like that's crazy to me. Like the internet's that big. And 80% of it we don't know. So here's what I want to know: how many people are on this motherfucker? Because I've never met anyone who's claimed to have been on it. Have you?
Nope.
I don't understand like where these people are if it's that big. So I guess I could be saying like, who the fuck is telling me that?
I was about to say I don't even know I hear the numbers like that, but then I don't know who's telling the numbers. How do they know how much of it is? So it's just a lot of buzzwords, but I mean, it's definitely something bigger, obviously, because even the full strength of what our computers are right now, we don't even use. I guarantee most people don't use the full strength
of their cell phone,
of their cell phone, computer, anything.
I know, I don't. I totally
camera, everything. You know what I mean? So it's always going to be way more than we don't know, obviously.
Yeah, that is true. I feel like I don't. very few things I use 100% of like each feature of all.
Yeah, right. You barely just think about it. The one technology that you never use the most of or all of normally is like a pen or a pencil. You never really used a full pencil before.
What you mean?
Have you ever used a full pencil to the nitty gritty, or a full pen until it's actually like one pen until it's actually gone? Now you got a series of pens.
I definitely feel like
you've
being a server. I've had a pen. You talking about straight through?
Start to finish.
Like straight through?
Yeah, start to finish.
Oh, I don't think I've ever. No, hell no.
That's something. I'm just saying those are one technology. But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We think of stuff like a computer, or some shit like using it to its full potential, but we don't even use a full pencil to its full potential.
Oh, see, the way I looked at that was the full potential would be using all of the ink.
Yeah.
But not necessarily straight.
Yeah, like using it in one setting, like, or using it because sometimes we'll, like, especially in the service industry, that might not even be your pen.
Yeah, I feel like I've definitely used pens to the end, but definitely never straight. But I bet you there's some people out there who, like, if you're writing a journal.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I wonder how long it takes to write a pen out. Like
all the ink. Right, I said, but that's something you don't even think like somebody would normally even know.
All right, I'm gonna set the over under of constant writing.
Let's say a student.
Well, no, I was gonna say over under hours, starting with a regular Bic and writing until it's finished.
My name ain't big.
2 hours, over or under 2 hours.
Over.
You think it would take longer than 2 straight hours of writing?
I'm gonna give it a. I'm pretty sure you can go like 8 hours.
Damn, that's okay. Maybe I'm off. My mindset's off. I'm thinking, damn, 8 hours straight. That is a lot of ink. I guess ink goes a long way, right?
Yeah.
How would we Google that?
I was trying to think right now.
Yeah, I don't want to just, I'm like the worst Googler ever. I mean, everyone hates it. Steve didn't make fun of my Google habits very, very often. Bad. But which is crazy because I Google the most out loud and shit too. It's like I get anxious. It's like it goes So I'm gonna ask, how long does it take to use all of the ink in a pen?
Yeah,
is that safe?
Sounds good.
Hey Google, how many? see, how much time does it? See, you said.
Nigga, hurry your ass up.
You do it.
Hey Google. How many licks does it take?
Yeah, see, you fucked it. Hey, all right. Hey, Google.
Summary from the website.
How long does it take to use all of the ink in a pen straight?
According to Pen Vibe, assuming that on average someone uses 1 to 2 meters of ink to write with each day for 365 days, then the pen will last 7 years.
Did that answer the question?
Yeah, but it's assuming that no one's... Wait, it says, each pen contains enough ink to write a continuous line from 4 to 5 kilometers long. So, okay, so that's how you figure that out. Yeah, so they gave us distance of how much actual ink. But I guess it would always... It changed depending on the person and what they're doing. And how. So even you might write faster than me, and then I might write slower than you. Mm-hmm. It's the same amount of ink, but you would do it quicker than I would.
Oh, they're going by pace. Okay.
So they're going by pace. Yeah. Okay. Or no, they're going by amount of ink.
Okay.
That if you just laid it out, but even that don't make sense. That's actually an interesting question, though.
Yeah.
But no. So we gotta talk about this because the whole goddamn world done lost its mind. Coronavirus. we gotta talk about this. So you said you just learned a little bit about it.
Yeah, I kind of keep to myself, and then I'm like, okay, what is going on? Well, first of all, I got a call from an email from my TuneCore, which is my music not the company, but the place where you send your music through so that they distribute your music.
Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yep.
So I guess they sent me an email like, hey, sorry to inform you, but due to the coronavirus, we're canceling blah, blah, blah at like South by Southwest, all this other stuff. I guess what they do is they play music through their streaming services. So if your music so happens to be on there, they'll play it at like festivals and stuff like that. So they let me know that all these festivals are being canceled due to coronavirus. I'm like, and then I hear that, and I hear my mom upstairs, and she's like watching something that's saying corona. I'm like, what the fuck? What is going on with this coronavirus stuff? So I started to get a little bit on it, but other than that, I don't really know much. I just heard they said keep your hands clean.
Yeah, I mean
and 4 people got it in Illinois.
I read 5 today.
But 2 people got cured in Illinois.
I'm torn. I'm torn personally. I'm torn because I watched. You ever see that shit on Netflix like a year ago? Pandemic. It's just like but shit can pop off.
I know it's crazy though how every year or every couple of years we just got the Ebola shit. We be getting SARS.
There's like a bunch of shit. There's like a bunch of shit.
There's always a bunch of shit.
Wait, I think I took a picture of this shit because I wanted to talk about this because I'm like, damn, every year there's some shit. Let's see. I got it right here. All right, so I'm about to go in a row and tell you what's been popping. 2020, coronavirus is going to kill us. 2019, measles was going to kill us.
Oh, really?
Measles was. I remember that. Measles was out here.
Measles popping like.
18, migrant caravans are going to kill us. So I don't know what that is, but I'm sure it was a thing.
Migrant caravan sounds like a nigga in a caravan migrating. You sure this is the right list?
Yeah, because all the other shit makes sense. Hey, Google, what is migrant caravan?
Here's a summary from Wikipedia. The Central American migrant caravans, also known as the Via Crucis del Migrant, are migrant caravans that travel from the Guatemala-Mexico border to the Mexico-United States border.
Oh, that's probably some Trump shit.
How about to say?
It sounds like some Trump shit.
Be suspect, right?
No, it didn't. No, but look, keep hearing out. Fake news in 2017. Fake news was the thing. And Zika, remember that Zika shit?
Gonna kill us?
Not necessarily kill us, but that was like the big news story of that year.
Oh, okay.
That's what all this shit is. That Zika virus, I remember that shit. And then the Disney's measles. And then ISIS in 15. Ebola in 14. And then 13, North Korea. 2012 was the end of the world with the Mayans, that whole shit. Mm-hmm. 2011, Obamacare was the worst shit ever, they thought. In 2019 or 2010, remember that BP oil spill? Remember that? How big that was?
Yep.
And then 2009 was swine flu.
Swine flu.
Right?
I remember swine flu.
2008, it says the bad 2008, the fucking economy was going vicious. I remember that.
Yeah.
And then 2006, E. coli was a thing. 2005, the bird flu was a thing.
Bird flu.
2003, SARS was a thing.
Sorry.
2002, West Niles. Remember that shit?
Virus.
Thank you. Remember 2001? Hold on. 2001 was anthrax. And then 2000 was Y2K.
Hey, Y2K, man, I was ready for that shit.
I was scared to the motherfucker.
I was ready.
Man.
My mom was praying through it and shit. Like, fuck out of here. Let's go, man.
I was terrified. I was
like, they had me scared over some number zeros. That list is crazy, though. You need to post that.
People already posted this. Yeah, I ain't going to post that because I don't even know what the fuck migrant caravan still is. We just Googled it.
I think. I feel like it was
a migrant caravan. No, but Google knew it was something. No,
it was a group, but it's
man,
funny. But
I
wow,
guess
that list is serious though.
But see, a lot of those years, I remember that thing.
Wow,
West Niles, I remember. That's all you heard.
West Nile virus, yeah, it's crazy.
So I just feel like, is this,
man?
Is this some real shit?
It's probably like the some. I don't know, man. I be thinking I'm always skeptical about shit they be feeding us every year because like, people don't understand like this. If this shit is patterned, then that's when you got to take a step back and look at shit. If shit just happened and it's like okay, but if shit is happening literally every single year, there's something that's like something
shit.
Like, okay, somebody got to be fucking with me or like planting something or just keeping me uninformed
or scared,
right? It's a scare tactic too. So
now you know me.
I mean, I ain't gonna say it ain't out there, obviously, but. I ain't saying motherfuckers inking motherfuckers out here.
Well, you know me, and I like to try to see both sides of the coin for better or for worse. Okay, so that's how I feel. Like, damn, every year is some new shit. But just the devil's advocate, what if the reason why shit ain't getting vicious is because it's being made aware of every year? Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Like, now that motherfuckers know about coronavirus. Now, hopefully, more motherfuckers is washing your hands and not doing dumb shit. So, again, there's probably more. They just trying to control us. Is probably where I lean. But I could totally see. Well, what if all these conspiracies? None of that shit is true. Like any conspiracy that I kind of believe in. What if all that shit is bullshit too?
What if it's just a little scare tactic just to get you to clean your shit up?
I mean, I can see it.
Right.
But no. But here's what fucks me up about these numbers. And maybe I'm just ignorant of the situation, but the amount of people who are dying from these things that they get brought up every year are not nearly as high as the number of like obesity killing people or heart disease killing people or drunk drivers killing people.
It says like 11 people in the United States so far with the coronavirus.
Right, but I'm telling you, this is the truth. This is every time I go anywhere, I hear conversations about it. Like it's literally everywhere. Everywhere that I'm, it's crazy.
That's a great point. Then, if you don't hear anything about any other way, all day, every day, the one that's killing people like obesity or something like that.
Isn't that crazy though? Like, don't you hear it everywhere? I feel like I hear it everywhere.
Yeah,
it's almost pop culture now.
It is.
Isn't that crazy?
And then especially meme culture and shit, especially with the Ebola shit when that was going around, you make fun of it real quick. Cheers. Oh.
That's some true alcoholic shit. I had to stash.
Yeah, the stash.
But I made you a bigger one because I didn't want to stop it in the middle of the flow to make a goddamn drink. But I need my old fashioned game's getting nice too.
Make that smooth with it.
Now, you like a sweet or not as sweet? Because there's a debate about that with your old fashions.
I think I like the sweetness to be more so. I think I like the cherry to handle that a little bit.
What you mean?
So you can let an old fashioned kind of be an old fashioned kind of just with that big rock, and let the cherry kind of and a little juice on the cherry kind of sweeten it up a little bit.
So you would not want to add simple syrup?
You could. I would see why you would. I could do either or actually.
So the ones that I make always have a little bit of simple syrup.
Yeah, I can tell.
Because I like mine a little bit on the sweeter side.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still strong. Like you can still taste it. You even said.
Yeah. Just makes it give it a little candy pop.
Yeah, and then bing, bing, right at the end.
Candy pop.
I'm obsessed with fucking old fashions and alcohol. Can't not give a fuck. No, but so the coronavirus, man. Like, I just heard this. Now, this is ridiculous. What I read. Supposedly, they say that Corona, the beer brand, their sales went down like a good 30% or some shit, which is ridiculous. Nigga, Corona ain't got shit to do with coronavirus.
Yeah, it's. I wonder where the name started.
The nigga who founded it was probably drunk. He's like, "Hey, let's call it coronavirus."
Because wherever it started, that would be. If I were Captain Corona, or who's ever running Mr. Coronas over there, I'd be like, bro, come on, man. Like y'all didn't know that this was going. Come on, man. Y'all couldn't name it something else.
Well, isn't okay? So if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but isn't the coronavirus that happens every year?
I have no idea.
So I think here's what I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Me neither.
But I feel like a goddamn idiot. However, I've read a little bit into it, right? And supposedly, the coronavirus itself, that's just the name of the thing that happens quite often, like every year, but there's a different strand of it every year.
Crazy.
Kind of like influenza, how it's a different strand every year.
So
if I'm not mistaken.
This strand is going.
This is this specific one.
Okay.
So you know what? Hey Google, what's up with coronavirus?
It's hard to say.
Oh, that's it, nigga? Oh, yeah. Well, all right, cool.
Real talk.
Hey, that's my nigga. Government's like, nigga, this FBI agent's at my door.
Oh, my God. Hey, Google is lit.
Yeah, he kidding me?
Google is lit.
He was like, I don't know.
He's like, it's hard to say. But,
he's like an Italian dude. Yeah, what do you mean?
My nigga's kind of hard to say. You know what I'm saying? Not to any streets. Don't ask too many questions.
Yeah, this is a fucking tough guy. It'll beat you over the head with a club. Mamma mia.
Hey, yo, Sal.
No, but, hey, that's fucked up. Hey, Google, what do you mean?
I'm confused. Can you be more specific?
Hey, Google, where is coronavirus from?
Sorry, I don't have any information.
Oh, yo, Google don't know shit now? See, that's conspiracy.
Wait, that's that bullshit.
Right? I'm saying it.
Wait, you know every
Hold
fucking thing.
on, except about the coronavirus? Yeah, because they're like, what if they know some shit?
Wait, that's gotta, wait.
Yeah, I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to do it one more time. Hey, Google, tell me about coronavirus.
According to the World Health Organization, coronavirus disease, COVID-19, is an infectious disease caused by a new virus that had not been previously identified in humans. The virus causes respiratory illness like the flu, with symptoms such as a cough, fever, and in more severe cases, pneumonia. You can protect yourself by washing your hands frequently and avoiding touching your face.
Hey, what if, here's a thought experiment, nigga. This is weed talking too. What if this whole thing was because Purell and Dove, the two CEOs, was at a bar and they was so motherfucking lit and they said, "Oh yeah, nigga," and then they said, "Fuck it, let's see what we can do." And this whole thing is about who can get more sales, Purell or Dove.
Why? Can I ask why them first?
No, that's just the two names. But how do you know? My point is first of all, it's ridiculous. What I just said was the dumbest shit I ever said.
I don't think so.
But little shit like that could happen.
I could see a competitor doing some shit like that.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, nigga, let's see how I think I can get the world fucked up. I can too. And then one meme, and then that's all it would take. So on some real shit, let's get serious for a second. I really feel like the powers that be now, that are the ones that are influencing, now influence the internet, right? Because that's the way we all kind of communicate now. So I feel like the people who are influencing everything, it's very easy to make the shit go. It's very easy to make an idea. Mm-hmm. It's very easy to, for instance, I remember Facebook, their whole thing, they was they were colluding, or they were putting nose on certain ads for the presidency. Mm-hmm. But then some they were letting go. So they were trying to budge the elections, and they were trying to fuck with that. Like, again, I'm stupid. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But I do know they got in trouble for that, for putting the poo-poo on certain things. So how do we know that this whole thing ain't just a way to keep us from something else, which is what it feels like every year, because every year there's a new goddamn thing, and then some shit happens underneath the scenes because everyone's talking about this.
Right.
What do you think about that?
I believe in it. Shit. Definitely. I mean, it's an industry, man, just like anything else. I think you made a really good point in pointing out that we have these epidemics that don't kill nearly as many people
as shit that actually kills
shit that's killing people every day, and we don't say anything about that, and we don't make a big story about that, because you realize all this type of death and unhealthy shit is happening, but it just depends on what story is presented to us. It's funny how everything is in our head. Like, everything is actually really happening in real life. It's just other people choose for us what we actually see, and choose to care about so much. Because literally only 11 people have died from this disease so far, or this infection or virus.
In America?
In America.
Oh, okay.
I'm just talking about right in America. But literally everybody's dying from other shit all the time.
Like daily.
And so that's the crazy shit. And we got a list of big ass shit that happened, but really that's the smallest shit that happened.
Yeah, there's always some. It's like we're very brainwashed easily as a people. Even us right now. Even though
it's comfortable though. Like, that's the point of being in. For me, I understand it, because that's the point of being in the country and being in the society. It's to babysit you. It's to be a part of something that's your home. It's a crib. You don't have to really know about the real world. You're supposed to be taken care of and babysat a little bit, you know? It takes a person that wants to get outside of that type of shit and can think outside of that. They're like, wait, this shit, my crib is kind of a little fucked up a little bit, or it's a little shit about it that ain't all the way factual, you know? But it's made to be. That's what living in the country is. You're supposed to have pride in this shit, and fuck all the bullshit. I really don't care. I'm at the crib. No place better than this.
Right, that patriotism.
Yeah, that's where that comes from. It's the crib. It's the concept of the crib. It's the concept of being home, wounded. I mean, in the womb, in your mother, you know?
Do you ever feel like
nothing matters outside of these walls?
Do you ever feel like that's some bullshit, though?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like I've always thought that
every
about
time.
America.
That's why I can think the way I can see the perspective, because I know that that's bullshit. In my mind, it's not bullshit. It's not where my mind stops. Like, my mind just has to go more than that. I'm not cool with
that. American dream shit to me is trash.
Yeah, it is. Especially, it's not trash. It's just a certain lifestyle that you got to choose to go for.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's fair. My personal beliefs is that American dream kind of keeps you stuck from going to what you want. I think the American dream is kind of very.
I agree.
It's
I
very
agree
like this is what you do. You go to school, you get this, you get a big house, and then you can have some kids. And I feel like that's this American dream. Then you're good. But what if you don't want to do that? Mm-hmm. What if you want to just fucking sail the world? Literally, all I want to do, and I would be happy as fuck, is just climbing walls throughout the world. But the American dream don't teach that, and I think a lot of people who have that, and I had that, you can teach the wrong things to people, not the wrong things, but the things that I don't know will necessarily lead to their happiness. Because I believe a person should do what the fuck they want to do as opposed to American dream.
And even honestly, going after the Hollywood shit is still part of the American dream, especially in America. You know,
that's, we talked about this.
Right. So whether it's White House picket fence or going completely Hollywood. And I mean, full-on megastar type of shit is like that pursuit is still not fully your pursuit, or you, I should say. It's still a creative pursuit. It's still an American dream. So you have to do the American dream thing. Well, that's why a lot of them have the same stories.
Would you say people? Yeah. What would you say people from like other countries still have that American dream though?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So the American dream has superseded America.
Yeah, it's
almost
absolutely.
It's like bigger
than its own character.
It's
its own character. It's the facade. But then when you go to LA, that's kind of how LA puts you in the mind of. It's like I had never been to a city that represented the United States of America so much in my life, because like
LA.
Yes, it just like it was the epitome of what if you weren't from this country, you would go to LA and think United States of America. This is everything I thought. This is because this is the only shit you think of. This is the imagery. So when you go there, it's like the imagery of the United States is all the shit that's there. So everything besides obviously like the picture of New York, and you know everything is in New York, of course, video-wise, but everything else is shot and depicted. Anything you think of when you think of America is you can see in LA. So just think of a person not coming from this country and seeing like all of that all in a row. Like every person you've ever thought about in the world has been to this city or has lived in this city or did some type of pursuit of something of their endeavors in the city's walls. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's actually super interesting. That's super interesting to me because I've never been to LA. Mm-hmm. You've been how many times?
Like 3.
And I gotta get there. So like that's gonna happen.
Just the hills alone, man. We gotta get them hills, man.
I ain't never been to California.
Ah, man.
I'm
glad we went to Seattle though, because that's still my favorite, even over California.
I mean, we talked about it before, but just a dope city.
Yeah, that's my heart and soul. Like that's my animal over there.
Now, okay, so here's the one thing about Seattle though. I don't know if I can fuck with that weather all the time.
I know, I think about that too.
The vibe of the city was dope, which is weird because you would think like everyone's kind of cool. And then like they were a very progressive city, so they was on that weed shit for like they're forward thinking. And it feels like they're very diverse compared to a lot of cities I've been in.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of Asians, blacks, a lot of whites. Actually, no blacks.
Not a lot of blacks.
You and me was the only black niggas in the whole goddamn city.
But blacks, we stay in our neighborhood, so
I guarantee there's some hoods.
We know hoopers, and we know a lot of hoopers from Seattle. So they got
some real niggas.
Some real hoopers, like for real. So they got some.
So I've never been, and I remember when we went, I had like literally had fun. Now, did I have fun because I was with you, and we was exploring, and that was kind of one of the first endeavors for me of exploring. So it was, or is the city just dope? Not both things can be right. You know what I'm saying? But what I did realize is I don't know if I could deal with that weather. Just dealing with our own weather in Chicago, which is a little fucked up at times.
And they have serious gloom over there. There's just so much that they have like a saying, like it's like what is it? Seattle. It's like a Seattle depression. I don't know if it's called depression, but it's something with Seattle and gloominess where like the.
I mean, are you kidding me? Hell yeah.
But if it weren't so gloomy, bro, that would be the most. I mean, the scenic view.
Yeah, that's right. It's so dope.
Stupid.
Yeah, very beautiful place.
You see that backdrop with that Mount Rainier in the back?
That's a very beautiful. And then and it's a clean city.
Clean.
Super.
You know why it's clean? Because it rains so fucking much. But it's not like a hard rain. It's like because it rains throughout the year so much, so it's like a shower, like drizzle.
They get more showers.
They get more like drizzles throughout, but it's like light rain. But it's like that's why the people just move as if it's not raining and shit.
Yeah, that's crazy. Cause when they around here, motherfucker, it rains.
Right. When they get some weather, it gets some weather. This shit is like tripolar. Goddamn it, this shit is quadrupolar.
Oh, you know what? That brought me to one of my topics I wanted to talk about. Yeah. Them fucking tornadoes in Nashville.
So I just heard about that too today.
Okay, what'd you hear about?
I watched the news for the first time today in like 30 years.
You trying to kill yourself? Thinking that the news is the worst shit ever.
Every time I talk to my grandma, I'm like, Grandma, what you doing? Nothing, just watching the news. They talking about Trump and the weather. You know the same.
The news like could be, to me, is the worst shit on the planet.
It's like cops. It's the worst shit on the planet.
Yeah, it's so bad.
It's so unassumingly directed towards like minorities. Is crazy.
Oh, damn, okay.
I saw a story today where a minority family, it was like a Hispanic family, their house burned up, and I want to say a 1-year-old died and maybe the daddy died or some shit, and they were like, oh yeah, this is such a tragedy and blah blah blah, the house burned down, and then the last thing they talked about was, well, there were people in the attic but they didn't have a lease or something like that to be in the attic. It was a fire code and they're talking to the owners, and I'm like, who gives a fuck about the owners? You know that these people poor and they ain't gonna handle some shit, right?
Right.
Like, let them live, man. They just lost a fucking baby and a daddy. Get the fuck out of here. So, ugh.
And that's just in the fabric of what was going on.
Get the fuck out of here. Don't announce that shit as if they the fucked up ones because they baby got, like, come on, man. Don't do that to people. Like, be more of a human. And that's another thing we can touch on if I can kind of translate a little bit. So, the concept of, I've been wanting to talk about this, actually. This is something I've been wanting to get to. So, did you know that a business or a corporation is considered a person in this country?
I did not know that.
So legally, as a person, I think by the 14th Amendment, it was something back when the 14th Amendment gave African Americans specifically the right to be, I can think, like, recognized as a human, pretty much. You know, the right to vote.
Ain't that crazy that wasn't that long ago?
Right. It's like the right to vote and stuff like that.
Ain't that fucked up? That was like not that long ago.
Smart lawyers back in the day, they figured out a way, like, okay, well, I can make my business a person pretty much, and they got the paperwork done and all that stuff and made it legal. So that's kind of been
which is crazy.
So technically, corporations can vote. They have a vote in everything. You know
is it just one vote per corporation?
Yes, or whatever have you. But yeah, they literally technically legally a person. You know what I mean? So if you think about it, the concept of that is kind of fucked up, because if you're a person, no person can work for a person like that. Like, or as far as like, I can't have people in me. You know what I'm saying? But in a corporation, you have people within you working for you, but you're considered a person.
Yeah, I guess I bet you the overwhelming majority of the people listening to this now have no idea that that's a thing.
Yeah. And
I've never heard of that.
Because, you know what's crazy? Because I'll be at work or something like that, and I'll hear an employee say something to a boss, to a manager, and they'll say, blah, blah, blah. Why can't I get off when blah, blah, blah? And they'll say, or why can't I wear this? And they'll say, it's company policy. So it's like it's not the brand. So we'll put and they just put me in the perspective of, like, let's say, for instance, you have a pregnant mom who's been on her feet all day, and there's a table coming in. There's a table coming in. We close at 10 o'clock, and they come in at 9:55, and you got a pregnant waitress on your hand or something like that, and they say, we got to serve these people. That's company policy or something like that. But you know what I'm saying? Rather than close the door, you say, well, she say, come on now, I got to get off my feet. I'm pregnant, blah, blah, blah. These people been ignorant coming in 5 minutes before. And a manager says, well, that's not the company policy. That's not what we do. You're putting that person, which is the corporation, over another actual person. And so we've gotten to the concept in America where the brand, the company, the corporation of that person is more important than the actual person.
Yeah.
And like with this concept of personhood is super important when it comes to that or ownership and corporation shit that we don't think about. We put value in the person, like we put value in the brand and a corporation.
How can I find the validity of that, of the person thing?
Look it up. Where did I even learn this?
Only because people gonna want to know.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like
I like the arguments, but I'm so embedded in my own shitty fucking bullshit that I have to unlearn.
Yeah.
That to me, I need to see something that gets me out.
Right.
Of
I don't even
because I don't know if I've ever heard the fact that a corporation could be a person.
Yeah, they have the right to vote and everything. That's why they're so involved with the politics of it. That's why people want to swing the politician. You know,
it all makes sense. And I want to believe. I just got to hear something like the 13th Amendment.
I think it's the 14th. The 14th. But the 14th is going to tell you about the slave. Look it up.
How should I Google
it? Corporations and the 14th Amendment.
Corporations and the 14th Amendment. Let's see what it says.
According to Wikipedia, in the United States, as a matter of interpretation of the word person in the 14th Amendment, U.S. courts have extended certain constitutional protections to corporations.
And guess what? That law was originally made for black people and slaves so that they can have rights to vote because they are considered people for the first time in this country. And then they fucking took it and made it to companies and still capitalized off of niggas mostly.
Wow. That's a truth bomb. That's epic.
God damn. This country.
I don't think nobody know about the 14th Amendment.
They ain't teach that shit in school.
They don't. Hell no, they teach that shit. Well, they don't even teach the 13th Amendment.
Let alone.
And that was shit. How many amendments is there? Real talk, dude.
Like 20. I think 25 or some shit.
Let's see.
I don't know. They stopped.
How many amendments are there in the Constitution?
27 amendments.
Okay.
I'm kind of.
According to Insider, the U.S.
No, you good. You good. Wow, but that makes sense though.
But it lets you know, like all of like.
So corporations can be a person.
They are people. That's the crazy.
So like, so you're my fault. Let me see if you're right. What you're saying is what we think a person is not what
we worship these corporations too.
Almost like they're fucking people.
Like they're celebrities. Like they're people.
We do.
We worship a fucking swoosh.
Oh, wow, we do. We do.
Yes.
Like they're better. Like it's almost like
if you ain't got these motherfuckers on your feet.
So it's like we've been brainwashed that hard.
So we idolize something as they fuck, bro.
So wait. Okay, so I need to hold on. Let me break this down. This is interesting to me. I need to break this down. Hold on.
Yeah.
What is a person?
Here's the definition of person: a human being regarded as an individual.
You see what I'm saying? Why that fucks me up?
Maybe what is a person? Okay, read the fourth. Okay, what is the 14th Amendment? Go to that because it's not the definition of a person. It's what's the definition of a person within our Constitution and our Constitution, right?
Oh, that's the caveat.
Right.
So not what the definition of a person is what we decided a fucking person is.
We have to decide what a fucking person
is.
You got to remember this law or this amendment came about only because we didn't consider black people people. So we had to make it a law that they were people, and then other people flipped it to make it a law that a business was a person.
Ah, okay, I get what you're saying.
They're like, man, fuck that. We're going to take advantage of it anyway.
And if you weren't willing to think past the bullshit, you couldn't even see that how that could be possible.
Bullshit.
Right.
That was bullshit, but the course was like, I don't know what they thought, but they gave it to them.
Now, you know what? This brings it to another point. Is it race? All right, this is about to get real deep. You want to get deep? Let's get deep in this motherfucker. Oh, hey, cheers to get deep in this motherfucker.
You like that one?
Is a white person, I can't wait to say this, is a white person racist if they are not racist, but they see some racist shit go down and do nothing? Now, you're going to obviously say it, before you answer, I know you're going to be as honest as you can, but you're also saying it honestly from a black person's perspective. And I think you can see past that more than most people. Mm-hmm. If I ask that question to some people, they would, there's different answers to that. Mm-hmm. So I'm just very interested to what
I'll
your
say
answer
it like
is.
this, because I can't say that like 100%, of course, because that's kind of a fresh question, and I'll be honest about that. But I can say I was talking to my homegirl yesterday.
White girl?
No, black girl. Shout out to Danielle. And we were,
hey, how you doing, Danielle? Is she good? Hey, she's one of the funniest women I've ever met in my life.
That's my twin, man.
She's literally hilarious.
That's my twin.
She almost as funny as I am. Yeah,
I know,
I'm talking shit. Danielle. I see you shit.
Cares so.
Cares a little bit.
No, but we were saying like, okay, she was like, she's kind of getting to the point in her life where, you know where people kind of hit you with that was the times. Like, you can't really knock them for that. That's kind of what was going on. But
yeah, I agree with that.
Right, and you get that, right? But she's kind of like at the point where she's kind of tired of that excuse, because at the end of the day, there was a nigga who didn't think that time that shit was going on was popping and was right and went against the grain. There's people who go against the grain right now about anything. If I don't fucking agree, like she was giving me the point where she gave me an example where she said she felt like if she was a white person and she was literally drinking water out of a water fountain and she was next to a little black kid drinking water out of a color fountain, she said she would have made this little kid go drink the water out of the white fountain. And this is just because she's the rebellious type. And she knows how she is. She's a stupid motherfucker. Like, she just be all against the law anyway. She all for like, man, fuck this. And
what people need those kind of people, though.
But that's what I'm saying. You don't think there were people like that in the world?
There's different people like that in the world.
You know what I'm saying? And do you don't think there was people like that during that time that was doing shit like that?
Yeah.
So,
but she also is living in a time where you won't get in nearly as much trouble as you could have.
That is true too. That is very true.
You're not going to get hung for doing something that ridiculous.
And
back then, you could have.
Right. And I was thinking about things like, okay, even if you were living in, there was people, let's look on it from the other side. We like to look at it from different sides. Let's say on the black perspective then. If you're living during those times where that segregation is going on, there's plenty of black people who just sat right in the back of the bus. But then there were some black people who was like a Martin Luther King who was like, nah, fuck that shit. So why isn't that equally as held up? And like, why can't that say that, oh, well, this is just other times. This is not your time to talk about it and fight back. Just sit in the back of the bus. He was the same one, like, nah, motherfucker, we shall overcome. Fuck this shit. Or Malcolm X, like, nah, fuck y'all. We deserve our shit now. So, like, I feel like when people say, nah, that was just the times, just like that was what was going on. Like, people just followed what was going on. Well, black people followed what was going on too. But there was something that stood out. There could have been some white people that were standing out too, and there were. You know what I mean? So I always feel like I can't say yay or nay on that, but I do feel like there were people who were always representing the side of justice where they felt was right.
Yeah, good versus evil. Yeah,
they were doing it regardless.
There's always people that's about that life.
We can say, and even in this country, white people weren't all fucking, like, it was just a whole social relative of it all. Like, relatively, if you were white, this was going to be the case. Relatively, if you were black, this was going to be the case. But all white people weren't like that. That was abolitionists like a motherfucker throughout history. You know what I'm saying? Right. It was very concentrated, but such was the case.
Let me throw something at you. This is an unpopular opinion, but I just want to throw it out there. How much of what the world considers racism is people actually being racist, or maybe black people ain't over certain things?
I don't think that we should be. First of all, I don't think there is anything to necessarily be over. That should not be the case at all. I think that it should be. I think that you know what? I think is a more important thing, if I could. I think it's funny how black people has been demonized as the bad ones, if you will.
No, okay. I see what you're saying, but I'm saying for me, I try to listen to all different perspectives.
Yeah.
Even the ones like a motherfucker who hates blacks, I try my hardest to like see like, okay, I have these emotions, cut these down a little bit.
Me too.
And find out what is your gripe, because maybe you don't understand. Can we both agree that our people, with every variation, didn't have a head start in America?
Did not have a head start?
Did not have a head start.
That's a fact.
Right. Okay. And like, for instance, Indians, I'm talking like Native Americans, right? They were already doing shit, and then Europeans came and cut all that shit out, and then now that's why you barely see Native Americans, because they ran amok on them niggas, right? Here's my question: is it safe to say that maybe we're not, like, when is there a point where, like, if I'm serving tables, they literally don't see a black person, they see a person? Now let me rephrase this question, because I feel like sometimes I feel like I think these things personally. I'm being honest and vulnerable. I'm like if I got a tip or I got a weird response from a table, and I deal with a lot of white people.
Me too.
Right. So do you, right?
Yeah.
How often do you feel, oh, he must be on some shit, and then they're not, and then they come to find out they're not, or that they prove you wrong, or for whatever reason? So my question is, to try to clean it up, I know there's no such thing as there's no real answer to this, but you personally, is it more you thinking shit ain't non-racist, or is it more them actually being racist?
I think it's I like that you said that. I don't think it's them knowing that they're a part of a racist society or system that kind of bothers me. That's the thing. Like, I'll even give you an example. A couple of days ago, I was at work, and this older white couple came in and served him greatly, like we do. You know what I mean? And he had a piece of chocolate cake, him and a wife, to for dessert and whatnot. I put a little candle in, a happy anniversary, 50th anniversary or something like that.
Turn up.
And he's like, hey, I'm going to have this chocolate cake to go. Not that chocolate, not you. You're not going to be in there, but just this chocolate right here. So it was on some. It could have been on some smooth shit, obviously. Well,
Yeah, it could have been some dumb shit, but it also could have been them trying to be cool.
But I wasn't. Right,
How did you feel when you heard it?
It was definitely him trying to be cool, and I get it. But the fact is, I don't think he gets it. That's not something you can say to a young black kid as an older white dude like that.
What if he can say it because you were willing to listen to the context? You believe it. So let me ask you this:
Did he think?
Did you believe in your? No, I'm saying you personally. Did you believe when he made that content he was on some other shit?
No.
You believed he was a good dude?
Yeah.
So, based on the society of what is right and what is wrong, what you can and cannot say, you personally knew he was not on bullshit.
I felt like he wasn't, but that's the thing. The thing is, they're so comfortable with that. It's way too comfortable. Like you got to realize something. For so long in this country, this is something that I know. Black people can't be comfortable looking at you in your fucking face at one point in this time in this history.
Say that one more time.
Black people weren't allowed to be comfortable looking at a white man in their face at one time in this history. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So for you to be able to just say anything, you got to understand the context of that. Like you can't just look in. It's different. You got to have more awareness of what really happened in this country than I do at 30 years old versus you as a 65-year-old man. You got to know that context and to say that shit. You know what I mean? Like, don't treat me like a little fucking boy.
I see that, but personally, I also see this guy's like, oh, we're past that. I can make jokes.
There is no past. That's what I mean.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I could just see them thinking that. That's all I'm saying. I can see them. So I can see a white person doing something that we might categorize as fucked up, and them thinking, really? I really wasn't on that.
Yeah, exactly.
I could see, and so how do we fix that gap?
I think by us trying to actually, like, I think.
What do you mean when you say us? Who do you talking about?
I mean, like African Americans or minorities who go through that type of shit already because that. I guess they don't know because their culture is what's given to us. A lot of times, white people don't even think they have culture, but you don't think that because your culture is the culture. You know what I mean? You don't recognize your culture when it is the culture. That's why they always, so it seems like they gravitate towards a lot of other shit and whatnot, but it's because their shit is already what's established. You know what I mean?
See,
but that's why that's where the mishaps start and whatnot, and the appreciation or joking and stuff like that. That's why it's always being checked, and that's why a lot of racism stuff is like hollered out and it's become a fad, and then it gets reversed on like y'all just being sensitive, but it's like you don't understand the context because you've been winning. And nobody taught you about the context of that type of appropriateness.
Yeah, I see. This is the gift and the curse of being me. It's because I strongly see both sides of that. What you're saying to me makes extreme logical sense. Like obviously, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
very obviously.
Sure.
But then there's another part of me that has a. So you know that this motherfucker is probably. Now, here's the only thing. Okay, let me rephrase this. Here's what I'll say. Because I do believe I encounter things more often than I let on that make me feel a certain way initially. But then I get back to the context thing, and then I always revert there. Like, the context can almost mask you don't know what the fuck you're doing socially. Right? So I feel like people do things socially sometimes that I know are good people. I know good individual human beings. And I'll be like, obviously you're not trying to hurt me. Somebody else might fuck you up, right?
Yeah.
But like me personally, like for instance, the N-word. This is a great topic actually, because I know a lot of the people who listen to me in the black culture are going to say, white people cannot use that word, or anybody who is not black cannot use that word. Personally, I just don't think that way. I'm also about the context in which you're saying it. And when someone's talking to you, when someone's really talking to you, you can feel what the fuck they're saying without even, you can barely just, you can look at a motherfucker and see and feel what they're saying.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So when someone drops a bomb or an N-bomb or doing this, to me personally, you can feel when they about that life and when they not. Is this motherfucker on some dumb shit or is this motherfucker cool? This motherfucker just trying to be cool or is this how he really talk, you know? And I personally, and I know a lot of my people will look at this fucked up, but this is the CARESNONE Be Dope podcast. Yeah. This is how I feel, at least in my area and in my experience and in my life. you get a pass based on how I feel when you say words like that. And I feel everyone should feel that way. So if I sit here and drop a fucking Jewish joke to a Jewish buddy who's a good buddy of mine, do you think that I hate Jews? How about this? No. Better thing. To make a joke about women. Like grabbing them by the pussy. Like, which in society nowadays is a terrible joke. Like, you can't even make the joke. But anybody who knows me, and women included, I am not a piece of shit. But if I make this joke, am I a piece of shit guy? So, which goes back to the original point. If a white person sees, like if they're at dinner, they're the fucking, how about this? I'm about to put you in this scenario. So you're at a dinner, okay? And it's you and 7 other white people. This probably happened before. Right? This happens to me all the time. So you're sitting there. And then everyone's cool. There's no drama, right? And then one motherfucker has his moment at the floor, the table, right? He makes a joke or says something, and that everyone else, you felt shitty by it. You hear what I'm saying? Do you feel that the people who don't stand up for something that you very obviously thought was shitty, are they on some other shit? Or
I think a lot of times, and I may be wrong in this, but I give people a lot of pass because I just feel like most people just don't understand, and I don't expect them to. I always feel like even as a minority, like you have to just understand people's ignorance more than they even know. That's just how I've always lived my life. I've always been able to carry more or just put more burden on myself because of people, my thought of people's lack of awareness of what's going on. Because my goal as a kid, like I've never really dreamed of being the richest person or the most famous person, nothing like that. It was always just the most aware. Like I just wanted to be aware of what was going on. I never wanted to be a dummy. So I always like felt like people weren't gonna understand it more than I was.
And because you put the time in.
Because I know that I can't guarantee that you're going to think about it. And a lot of times people's actions show that they're not thinking about it. But I can guarantee that I'm going to think about it because that's what I'm on. That's what I want.
And you say you thought about this for years?
I've been thinking about it. That's always been my goal as a kid. Like I
feel like I think that way now, but I don't think I thought that way growing up. I was kind of in my own bullshit bubble. And just thought the world just kind of revolved around me.
But you were being nurtured. I mean, like as far as like the surroundings, that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to not make you care about anything. Like it didn't do anything wrong to you. You know what I mean?
No, not wrong. But personally, where I'm at today, breaking that shell. Yeah. Even though I'm not
nurture of America. Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of circling back, like that cocoon that you can be in, that societal cocoon. I like that societal cocoon.
Societal cocoon.
That's actually kind of dope. Yeah. Like, fuck that cocoon personally. Now, some people might strive in that shit. You know what I'm saying? But personally, I can't do it.
CBD, let me hit that.
Huh?
My shit out.
Yeah. I mean, I got that weed too. Like,
yeah.
I got the weed. I got the CBD. Hit that too, though. Nope. Hit that too.
Do I hit it at the same time?
Nah, it's the same thing. I'm telling you, man, change your life. And then do the whole switcheroonie thing. Yeah, but so here's my take on that. So the question I asked was, what if a white person sees something racist or hears something racist and they don't stand up for it? Does that make them a racist? Right? So here's my take on that. No. It does not make you a racist at all. However, it does make you a lot of things. Now, personally, and here's why I'm strong enough to make this comment. Here's why I believe I'm even worthy of making a comment I'm about to make. Is because when I was in high school and I was a popular kid, I used to people would fuck with the kids who weren't as popular, and I would stand in for them. Even though they weren't like me, they were different from me, they dressed different from me. I've always just kind of just had people's back. So like if I saw somebody fucking with somebody else, and I was bigger too, I was 400 pounds, so people didn't really fuck with me like that, right? And I'd be like, hey man, stop fucking with him. Like, go on somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, or fuck with me. You want to be an asshole, fuck with me. And I always took that side, you know? And here's why I'm willing to say you are not a racist if you don't do nothing. But you could throw your little 2 cents in, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that do. So I know there's some people that would throw their whole body in for the cause. I get that. But if you see some real shit going down and you just kind of deal with it, and then you keep kicking it with that, and then it's always a thing, and it's just that's just Leroy being not Leroy, that's a black name. That's just Hunter being Hunter. Hunter's just a fucking racist cocksucker, and you cool with that? And you ain't said nothing in 4 years. You ain't even hinted that that's an issue. Then you know what? That's more that you're a bitch.
And that's what my homegirl Danielle was pretty much putting on. She was pretty much saying that, like, at this point, you a bitch if you ain't on that.
I ain't saying you gotta go balls to the wall, because at the end of the day, you gotta live your life. Like, I ain't about to sit here. I got kids and shit. With that
if it was the times, and I like no, because those people out here saying something or doing something or not allowing
that are going hard.
Not even going hard, like you said. You ain't got to.
But I'm saying there are white people that are going hard.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There was literally a white woman was the leader of the NAACP.
Yeah, she went hard, and her documentary went hard too.
Oh, she got a documentary?
Yeah.
On what?
Wait, she was acting like she was black.
Yeah, she was the leader of the documentary. Yes. Is it on Netflix?
It was at least.
Oh my god, I would love to hear that.
Kids and everything, like she was for the cause.
Yeah, she was white as hell.
Now that was an interesting table talk, like with the fam and shit. Like, okay, like what do you do?
So what were they saying? Oh, I got to see this documentary.
Bro, it was a mind fuck because like
did she believe it in her soul?
Yes, I feel like she really did, and like, but
it was no. You don't think there was no bullshit?
Man, it's interesting.
I gotta see it.
Like you kind of be like,
what was her name?
Kind of get a pass, but
fucked up. I mean, you get a shouldn't you get a pass?
It was kind of fucked up. How like skin darkening and all type of shit.
No, so super fucked up. But man, I bet you she's done so much for the culture. Literally, she's the leader of the NAACP.
She's the leader of the culture.
She's the leader of everything black. Is a white woman. That's funny. Hey, I forgot who was the. There was a comedian.
Man, this is fun. Hey, you can write that shit.
Can't write that.
That really happened.
That's real talk. That's real talk. Wait. I forgot who it was.
Hollywood as fuck. That really happened.
Who was it? It was some comedian that said white women are the commodity. And he said, he goes, throw a black baby in black baby gets lost in the ocean and they look for a couple hours. All right, we can't find a little nigga. He said, if a white woman gets lost at the ocean, they got the whole county, the whole state. It's got national coverage. Motherfuckers out there saying fucking Samantha, what the fucking name is. No, but it's real talk.
Hey, they can do it. Man.
White women.
Hey, no, I just was watching Mike Tyson's podcast. He had Roseanne on there.
Shut up. Roseanne's on the Tyson podcast?
She said she was the. Now,
I
don't know if she was joking because she's a comedian.
By the way, sorry to interrupt you. I said this last time. The Mike Tyson podcast is
the best podcast.
That's
the best podcast.
That's so vicious.
Right
that's my second favorite.
It's
extremely good.
It's out here. He's giving a perspective, and he's a historian too.
He's so dope.
Mike's a historian with his boxing. Like he's a student of boxing.
He's
like this man, definitely go watch that. But anyway, he had Roseanne on.
Roseanne Barr.
Yes, Barr. I don't.
Savage.
That's a bar. And I don't know if she was joking because she's funny as fuck, but she was saying that she's the head of the Black Panthers, right?
Oh God, I gotta hear this. She said she the head of the Black Panthers.
Look it up. I'm telling you. Ask Google or something. I feel like she was not fucking with us.
Wait.
I swear to God.
There's no way that Roseanne Barr was the leader of the Black Panthers. There's no way. I can't.
Currently.
I'm about to, ever. Like currently? That's even more fucked up.
Look it up if she was joking.
I'm gonna Google Roseanne Barr and Black Panthers.
All right, please.
Right? And let's see. I'm about to lose my whole shit if this shit come out. Well, according to all right, here we go. You ready? Roseanne Barr, Black Panthers. No, nothing came up, which is interesting. Okay. Right? But the first article was how Black Panther got Roseanne fired and why others need to be careful.
Okay, maybe not. Maybe she was joking.
She had to be joking. There's no way they're fucking Roseanne. Wait. Black Panthers Michael B. Jordan got a dig in at Roseanne Barr following racist tweet. Well, she went crazy. She lost her mind.
Oh, okay.
No, well,
glad that wasn't true. But the other one was true.
Well, Joe Rogan, like, all right, so he kind of has Roseanne Barr's back to a degree.
What happened with her?
No, she said some real racist shit. And,
did she?
And supposedly she was on. Okay, so here's where it gets fucked up. When you go crazy, whether you're on some drugs or whatever, like, is it okay? Like, do you give somebody a pass because they was clearly in
Tell the truth.
How about this? Does a drunk person speak a sober mind?
No. I mean, yes.
Yes. Okay.
A sober mind?
So I'm going to rephrase it. Does a drunk person
tell no tales?
Yeah, speak it. I always said speak a sober mind. So yeah, same thing.
That is correct.
Yeah, I feel so Steve don't agree with this. Steve thinks.
No, you want to talk the most.
That's what I'm. Okay. To me, it makes no sense why he doesn't see this at all. But he legitimately does not believe in it.
You didn't mean to say it, but you definitely meant it.
Right? Because it lowers your inhibitions to stop giving a fuck.
That's literally
Steve
what it
don't
does.
get it. I gotta get him on the. Hey, Steve, nickel, get your bitch ass on the podcast. Bitch ass motherfucker. I'm sick of his ass. We going to Nashville. We could have died.
Cashville, Tennessee?
Fuck no, the fucking tornadoes in Nashville. We're going in like 2 weeks. We could have been
Whiskey
dead.
Makes corn.
How many people died in that shit?
I don't know, but my mama told me a story that motherfucker.
My mama said my mama said
Bobby Boucher.
Yeah, it is.
My mama said
needle dick.
She said a family survived because they got in a tub, and the tub flung across the street, and shit, niggas made it.
Oh shit!
But there was a couple other niggas in front of their crib dead.
They didn't make it. It was a little rough. The story is a little bit rougher for them.
Back to you,
Bob. Hey, speaking of back to you, completely off topic, but kind of on the topic. You ever seen that meme? It's not a meme. It's like the 70s. It's a black dude. He's talking real white. He's a newscaster, and then a motherfucking like bug flew into his mouth.
He's by a gate?
Yes.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Black newscaster goes crazy.
I know exactly.
Here are some results from the web.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Oh, my fault. Maybe I cut all this dumb shit out. Oh, 29. Oh, here it is. YouTube sensation. I'll cut all this shit
Mike
out.
Jones?
No, here it is. I'll cut all this out. Don't even worry. Here you go.
That Thursday here at Augusta High School.
I'll cut all this out. Now this shit is this shit is hilarious. First of all, listen to the black dude. He sound white if he ask me. 3 seconds.
What really happened on that Thursday here at Augusta High School that led to Chris Wood's death? The fuck is that? I'm dying in this fucking country ass fucked up town. Shit flying in my mouth. Fuck, I can't see pollen. Let's get the fuck out this country, motherfucker.
Hey, that's somebody's uncle.
Hey, that's definitely Uncle Slim.
Hey, nigga, we had an hour and some shit. How fast did it go?
Damn,
I know, right? I know.
Fuck.
It's like an hour and 13 minutes.
Damn,
man.
we out here.
That's how good I'm saying. We got to keep it going.
That's what's up.
One day, no time soon, so don't the motherfuckers getting worried.
When the weather's much brighter.
I'm not going to have that. I'm not going to say stop it based on this. I'm going to stop it when the conversation's done.
Okay. Go.
And it might be 20 minutes sometime, but it might be 3 hours sometime. I'm not there yet. I kind of want to keep it at an hour. That's what people expect, yada, yada, yada.
Sure.
But eventually, because and Rogan said this the best. For those who don't know, I fuck with Rogan. Everyone who listens to this knows that. We know, nigga. We know. You fuck with Rogan, nigga. They know.
Yeah.
He says it's actually hard to stop at 3 hours when you really into it.
Yeah. I mean, look how fast that was. That could have been an easy 3.
Easy.
That was one conversation away.
2 more drinks, nigga.
Right,
I'm good. Another hit or 2.
Shit.
Anyways. But as always, CARESNONE. Nigga.
Yeah. Yeah.